Hello, we are currently in the DCS Huey UH-1. This is one of the most accurate helicopter models you can buy on the market, and it's for DCS World. And we're going to have a quick fly of this helicopter. This is the interior, and there's the cockpit, functional cockpit as well, so you can click the switches, push the buttons, etc. Let's see, does the door open? I don't know. Oh yes, it does, look at that. The door opens so you can nip outside, have a look outside. So as you can see, that open door. Spin around. Oh, both doors open. So that's the external view of the Huey. Get back inside, let's see the door, yep. Both doors close, and let's take off and do a quick circuit. So this is one of the most difficult helicopter models as well to fly, so I'm going to do my best. And we're going to take off and see how it flies. Here we go. Take off nice and smooth. Not bad, not bad, not bad at all. So let's fly towards the end of the runway and round those buildings and see what it flies like. It's one of my favourites, I must admit, the Huey. It is definitely one of my favourite helicopters. It looks good, it handles well. It's difficult to fly, it's a challenge, but I like it. And I highly recommend it. Let's go over to this area here and try a hover. So let's get up in the air a bit more, lead off a bit of speed, and level it out a bit. Drop it up the elevator, what looks of it again. And here we go. Is not a bad hover. They increase the pitch a little bit, so lead off some more speed that we seem to have gained. So a bit more. But be careful that we don't get into VRS and then hit the ground, because that's something that's easy to do in the Huey. Hit the ground in VRS. So you can see it's starting to plummet a little bit. So some sort of hover, not bad. Okay, let's reduce a bit of speed. Reduce a bit of altitude. Let's see if we can land on that, over there near that square near the building in front. One of my favourite helicopters, handles superbly. I mean, you've got to constantly adjust a number of controls, i.e. when you raise the collective, when you raise the collective, you've got to make sure as well that you don't raise it too high, otherwise you go to stall. When you're landing, you've got to keep the speed in the, 3 to 5, minus 3 to 5, and the speed as well, about 20 knots I think it is. So it is, you've got so many things to think about when you're flying a helicopter compared to a fixed wing, but it is a good challenge. I like it. So they can try and get into some sort of a hover above the ground and land over there. Hopefully in one piece. So keep it high. Let's reduce a bit more speed. Go. More collected, not too much. Give a bit more speed, and hopefully we can land it safely. There we go. Not a bad landing, happy with that. So let's have a look at that takeoff and landing again from the external view on the replay. And we're in external camera view here. We're going to take off. There you go. Not a bad takeoff, if I say so myself. Flying towards the building and have a look at how we landed. So you can see the attention to detail here on this Marvellous machine. Flyby view. Always worth a look. That's what I like about the DCS world, is the replays. Flood of flyby views, excellent, fantastic. Let's go back to a view which is a bit closer to the helicopter itself. And this is the point that we did the hover. So this is zoom up a bit. That's what the hover was like. Not too bad. A few adjustments here and there, but not bad. That's good. And now we'll have a go landing. And looking at the landing now that we did earlier. Oh, look, there's a clear kitty in the background. So we're going to have a look at how this landing went. So it's different from the outside than it is from the inside, but I think it went pretty good, considering it's very difficult to land this helicopter. So here we go. Zoom in a little bit, see how it looks like. Looking good. Maybe a little bit. Nope, not bad at all. That is a good landing. I'm happy with that landing, really good. And that's it, so we'll look at the next helicopter now. Okay, now we're in the Bell 206 in Xplane 10, 64-bit, and this is it. It's a default helicopter which comes with Xplane. It's free, and it's not too bad to fly. I mean, the graphics aren't to the standard of DCS helicopters or the Dodosim even, which is also the 206 for FSX, but it's good to fly, and it's a good accurate model. So we're going to take this for a spin now and see how we get on. So here we go. Slowly does it with the collective. Here we go. A bit more. Yeah, a little bit switchy on takeoff, but not too bad. It handles very similar to the other high-range helicopters that we've been flying in this video series, the realistic flight models. So that's a good sign, and it's free, so you can't complain with that. I mean, the only thing I'd say is the graphics are a bit more on the basic side than the helicopters that we've looked at, but the flight model is great. We're going to head over to the terminal building and see how this handles in hover. There we go. Bit low. Yeah, let's do a little hover here. So take it a little bit. Let's see, for that hover, or we're going to crash now. Okay, we're going to hover. Use some more speed. This is 9 Milan Malpensa. And try and get this hover. There we go. Straighten out a bit, so it's good. Good. 747 over there. I'm going to turn it around. Oh, look at that Ali plane. That's a stylish looking plane over there. That's super. Look at that. Like that. Let's see if we can land it. Let's land it over here. A little bit more on the inside. See if we can do a nice soft landing as well. Don't want to steady it out a bit, a little bit lower. Pedal, drift it a little bit. See, keep it steady. And we landed, so that's not a bad landing. So this is the landing, sorry, takeoff from the external view. Not bad takeoff. Zoom in a bit on the helicopter itself. Not a bad model from the outside. Looks pretty good. I mean, it's free, you can't complain. So, if you're interested in starting on helicopter sims, then it's definitely worth having a look at this helicopter. And let's take a look at the landing. Oh, let's look at the hover first of all. Let's see if we can see how the hover performed. Zoom in a little bit more. we go, here we are coming into the terminal building. Let's see what the tower looks like. A good angle. There we go. This is the part where we tried to hover. See what it looks like off the outside. Not bad. Drifting forward a little bit, I suppose, but not bad at all. There you go. Yeah, not bad. Relatively stationary. And now we'll have a look at the landing. And here we are trying to land. Zoom in a little bit more. I didn't think it was a bad landing actually. From the inside anyway, it's a bit quite different from the outside. I did a little bit of drift there, but corrected that. And I think it was quite a good soft edge on after all that. There we go. Yes. Excellent. Well, that's the Bell 206. Excellent, and it's cheap because it's free. So that's the Bell 206 Xplane 10. Hello, welcome back. We are in Xplane 10, 64-bit for Steam, and we are in the Bell 407 by Dreamfoil Creations. Now this is a payware helicopter, and as you can see we're in the cockpit at the moment. Lots of attention to detail, and if I pan across, I think we can even open these doors. That's how much detail we've got in this helicopter. There you go, look at that. And as you open the door, you can hear the sound as well from outside. And close that. I'm clicking on that button. And if you look on the rear, inside, we can also open the back door. So let's open the back door. There you go. And take a quick tour of the back. Look at that. Leather seats, 4 leather seats. And the attention to detail is amazing. This is the outside view. See if we can move my head round to the side. There's the skids. Let's get back inside. Close the door, there you go, you're back in the cockpit seat. And I think you got this also moves. I'm not exactly sure what this is supposed to do, but I think it's some sort of light. There you go, there you go, switch the light on and off. Okay, so we're going to take this on a quick flight to Rome Fiumicino, Leonardo da Vinci Airport. We're going to take off and see how this flies, so here we go. Whoa, quite a twitchy takeoff, but we made it. So yeah, it's a well-modelled plane. It's had a lot of good reviews. I've flown it a few times, not a lot. I do find the controls are much more twitchy than the Huey and the MI-8 and the Dodosim, the Bell 206 in FSX. But the flight model is pretty realistic as from afar. What I gather, and it does fly well. The only gripe I have is that with the joystick or the CH fighter stick that I have to make even more minute movements than normal that I normally do on the other helicopters. I normally have to make fine adjustments, that's true, but with this particular one it's even more so and even more evident. That's the outside view. Take it a bit. It does fly really nicely. I mean, what are we doing now? I think we're doing about 120 knots. So here we go. There's an outside view. 120 knots. It's what have we got there? Is that the runway on the left there? And yeah, I mean, I'm making really fine movements, and if I do the same amount of put the same amount of force into the joystick as I do on the Huey, then it really seems to spiral out of control. So like I said, it's something you've got to be aware of, but the flight physics are quite realistic. I mean, like I say, I'm not a real pilot, but I fly in the Huey and the so-called realistic flight models. This is very similar to those. Let's do an about turn. It does fly very precise, I gotta say. Let's see. There's the rear. We don't lose too much speed, do we? There we go. Let's turn it around. See if we can land somewhere safely. I'm going to try and attempt to land this. A lot of pedal movement. Again, even with the pedal movement, you've got to be so precise. I have to bleed off some speed. So let's bleed off some speed. As you can see the movement left and right. That's just moving the joystick slightly left or right. So we're going to have to just bleed some speed off. Yep, lined up over the runway, and beat up a little bit more speed. Want to go backwards up. Try my hardest here with these controls. Like I said, they're so fiddly. I don't know, there's another helicopter there.
Ground, November 002, Papa.
Let's see if we can get this landed on the runway. Getting there. It's going to do hover. Oh, perfect landing. I like that landing. So it does take a lot of concentration though, I must admit, but it does, when you do get the hang of it, it is a nice helicopter to fly. So if we can have a quick look at that landing, we can go to the let's save the replay. 407 landing. Let's have a look at that landing from the outside. So file load replay. Let's have a look at this. That's the good thing I like about Xplane. The replay system is a lot better than the FSX version. So here we go. Let's have a look. We'll play it and see what that landing looked like from the outside. Now we've got a better view as well of the copter with this external view. Landing Rome Fiumicino. There's a bit of the flare. Coming to land. And this point, this is where it can easily go wrong if you just plummet to the ground. I'm happy with that landing. I like that landing. And that's the 407. I think it's probably one of the hardest ones to land out of the Huey and Dodosim MI-8. I think this is probably one of the hardest to land, but it's well worth it when you get the hang of it. And as I said, it's a lot more twitchy on the joystick than the other two. It's a lot more sensitive. You have to really make some minuscule movements on the joystick. Okay, now we'll move on to the next one. Thanks for watching. Hello, welcome back. We are now in the Dodosim Bell 206 helicopter, which is an add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator X. It's been around for a few years, and it's supposed to be one of the best and realistic helicopter flight models for FSX. It comes at a price, but the FSX helicopters, DCS helicopters, haven't really got all the flight physics that you will find in something like DCS or Xplane. So this module or this pack here adds that realism to FSX, and it's well worth the money. It's very hard to fly, but we'll have a look at that in a second. We're going to do a quick startup, and we're going to use the 2D panels because it's easier to show the startup procedure than it is with the track IR, because my head will probably be moving all over the place otherwise. There is a tutorial on my website about how to start this. We're only going to quickly go through this at this stage because the main objective is to have a look at this helicopter. So here we go. Let's switch the battery on and then put on the avionics, the lights, the fuel, the hydraulics, the caution lights, open the fuel valve, and let's press the starter. We'll wait for the gas producer to reach 60 before we release the starter. So at the moment I'm pressing on the starter button, keeping it pressed until the gas producer reaches 60 on the dial there. You'll see that dial, the second row of dials from the left and the third one down. So the gas producer is now at 60. Let's increase throttle. There you go, about 100%. So this is the gas producer I was talking about. We can now put the generators on. We'll wait for the power turbine speed to reach 100, and then we should be ready to take off. So before we take off, let's have a quick look at the cockpit. So this is the cockpit of the Bell Dodosim 206 for FSX. The overhead panel, this is what we've just been looking at in the 2D view. If you switch to the outside view, that's the flyby view. This is the blue version and the high skid version. There is a red version with the low skids as well, and also a version with inflatables. So that's the external view of the helicopter. Nicely modelled. It's a few years old now, so taking that into consideration, it still stands up pretty well really to today's helicopters. Anyway, we're gonna go into the cockpit and we're going to take off and fly a circuit. So here it goes. Laser collector, a bit of left pedal, and nice and gently. There we go. And let's go towards the terminal. Let's have a look how this handled. This is one that I said one of the best helicopter add-ons for FSX. I know there's others like Nemeth Designs, but the Dodosim I did a bit of research on and found they had the best flight model for helicopters for FSX, so that's why I purchased it. It does handle very similar to the Huey, but I think it's probably slightly harder than the Huey to land. There's Cardiff Airport. There's some people getting onto a Thompson flight there below. Cardiff Airport hangar, where British Airways jets go to get service. So at the moment we're doing something around 100 per hour, so it's pretty nippy. And let's gain a bit more altitude. Let's raise the collective a little bit and head towards St Athan, I believe, RAF St Athan, over there. So increase speed, and let's see if we can see an outside view. There's the outside view, so it's looking pretty good. the tower view, tail view, and back inside. So there you can see the airport for St. Athan. Let's see if you can do a bit of a hover here while we're here. Slow down. Gonna try and do a hover just over the runway here. Reducing a bit of speed. There you go. Not a bad hover, and need a bit more left pedal, I think. There you go. So, not too bad that actually for the hover. Let's get back in the cockpit because I know that if it takes one slight movement for this to crash, it's that sensitive. So let's see if we can do a landing. We'll try and land over near the St. Apples. Near those buildings over there, looks like a good spot to land. Yeah, like I said, the handles very much like the Huey, and I find it a little bit more difficult to land this one than the Huey, but when you do land it, it is a good satisfying feeling. It's a challenge, that's for sure. So let's reduce a bit of speed. And let's see how well we can land it. Approaching the spot I'd like to land in near those buildings. So losing a bit of altitude now. I'm using CH pedals and fighter stick and pro throttle, which I find is perfect for the job, especially for flying helicopters, and I couldn't recommend them more. I've been using for both DCS Wolf and Xplane FSX, and can't go wrong really. A fantastic set of controls. Let's see if we can get this a soft landing that we need. Hover, still a bit high. Lower, a little bit lower, still a little bit high. Let's get this down the ground hovering. Whoops. Over there. Oops, still a bit high. So what I mean about the difficulty of this, of landing this helicopter. I mean, the Huey was a little bit easier for me to land. This is much tougher, in my opinion anyway. There you go, nearly there. A bit more. Try and land it over here somewhere. A bit of concrete will do. Yeah, gone off a little bit to the left there, to the right, sorry. Let's try and get back on that patch. There you go. Bit of control. Better. Going for the landing. And she's down. So there you go. And again, like I said earlier on, tricky to land, but not too bad. We've managed to land it. It took me a while to get to a comfortable spot, but there you have it. What can I say? The controls are very sensitive. I would probably go as far as saying that the helicopter itself is probably a little bit harder than the Huey to land, and the hover's not so bad. But all in all, if you've got FSX and haven't got DCS, well, this is the best helicopter add-on I think you can get for it. So I'll leave the link in the description, and we'll move on to the next helicopter. Soon a couple of throws. Hello, and we are in the cockpit of the DCS MI-8, and this is it. Look at that. Amazing detail yet again from the DCS World team, and this is one of the best helicopter add-ons I think you can get, and one of the most realistic. Let's have a good look at the copter. Zoom in a bit, and you can see the attention to detail there. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. Zoom around a bit. Let's try going up along the top. The rotor blades. Look at the way they turn, they spin. Amazing. Back in the cockpit, we can have a look around at the amount of switches. Unbelievable. With weapon systems, avionics, the lot. I don't know what most of them do yet because I haven't really spent too much time learning the weapon systems. But we're going to give it a spin and see what it's like. So here we go. Let's take the brake off, and let's try and do a start from not a running start, but a start from standing still. So see, there you go, and we're airborne, and let's take it for a spin. It feels like a very heavy aircraft compared to the Huey. It's much heavier, obviously, to fly. Let's see what the handle's like. It's got trim on it. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the trim. Let's see what it's like on the outside. Look at that. Fantastic. Fantastic. I'll zoom out a bit. Look at that. It's amazing. It looks amazing. Handles amazing. And what can I say? You know, this is the DCS World add-on is just phenomenal. They're so highly detailed. Let's see, can we get this thing going fast? Let's have a look. Let's see it. Look at that, that's unbelievably realistic. Look at that. Fantastic. Let's see it close up. Whoa, oh, let's follow that train. Look at that. Gain a bit of speed now. Gotta admit, DCS World helicopters, one of my favourites. And I like the Dodosim Bell FSX, but this is amazing. The attention to detail is amazing. Let's see, follow that train. And then we'll try and do a landing. Which is the best one between the Huey and the MI-8? Well, it depends really. I mean, I find the Huey probably easier to fly than the MI-8, but that's my personal opinion. I mean, landing this is really hard. It's quite heavy. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Frame rates. Look at that. Amazing. Right, let's see if we can land on the runway now. Slow it down. line himself up with the runway. And we'll attempt the landing. A bit of shaking a little bit, I think I increase a bit of speed. There's a bit of collective. Oh, look at that. I'm happy with that landing. The wheel brake back on. Oh, not a bad landing at all. I like that landing. So, what can I say about this helicopter? It's great. It's fantastic. Look at it. You can't say there's anything wrong with this. Alongside the Huey and the Dodosim, one of the best helicopter simulators you can get, and I can't stress how great these DCS World products are. Look at that. Look at the attention to detail. Right, thanks for that. We'll have a look at the next one. And we are back in Xplane. This time we are with the Dreamfoil S92, Sikorsky S92, and we are in the cockpit, and as you can see, plenty of detail modelled here. So if you look up above, there's the overhead panels, there's the pilot seats. We can even open this window. There you go. And we can close the window. If I can see the handle again. On the outside of the plane itself, again, we can open this door. Yep, there you go, open the door. We can have a peek in the back. So let's go inside. There you go. So, number of seats there for passengers. Let's close that door. And as we can see from the outside, great detail on this helicopter. I like it. So let's get back in. Let's take the wheel brake off and do a quick circuit. There we go. And up she goes, and let's go to the right. So let's fly right, see, do a quick circuit, see how it handles, get the gears in. Dynamics wise, I think it's probably very similar to the DCS K50, the way it's handling. I'm not fighting the cyclic much, so that is something to bear in mind if you start on a helicopter. I think this would be good for new helicopter sim enthusiasts or people who just want to try flying the helicopters, try their hand at it. So it doesn't seem to be as twitchy as the Huey or the Dodosim for FSX, and of course similar to the MI-8, which is a heavy craft as well. So this is heavy, but it seems to be a bit more stable than the MI-8 control-wise. Perhaps that's because it's a passenger aircraft. I'm not sure, but it handles nicely. I think the dynamics are very near what the K50 is like. The K50 has got two propellers. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Two rotor blades, which help stabilize the aircraft. But I'm using CH fighter stick, as I mentioned, and I'm not fighting the stick like I was before with the Huey, and it flies lovely. So let's see if we can land over there. Like I said, we did it quick. Let's get the gears out, just a quick flight to see what it looks like, and I'm impressed. So we'll reduce a bit of speed. Let's land on that patch over there, see how it lands. Reduce a bit more speed. Yes, we know. There we go. So, got the gear out this time. I've done a couple of videos earlier and I forgot to put the gear out. Because when you're flying helicopters with skids, you don't need the gear. So this one's got wheels, so we need to remember to put those wheels out. So there we go. Line it up a bit more. Turn it around a bit, straighten it. Slow down a bit, so a bit more or less speed. And let's land it. It's going to get straight, nice straight landing. Bit more descent, stabilizing it a little bit more. There you go. Get down a bit of speed. And we've landed. So, not a bad landing. Put the wheel brake on. And quite impressed with it. You can see the animation on the pedals there at the bottom. So, this is the Sikorsky S92 for Xplane. So we'll have a look at that flight again, this time from the external view, and we can see the takeoff. It took off pretty nicely. It didn't have any problems taking off. Nice and smooth. There's the gears going in. There's the lights in the bottom. I think they're the lights, yeah, there you go. Nice, good pick. And let's have a look at the landing. So there's the landing. Bit of drift. Let's see how well we did on the landing. Have a nice hover there over the ground for a while. This is the thing with a helicopter in the sim, it's difficult to know how high off the ground you are, and sometimes you just push the collective down and down you go and hit the ground like a sack of potatoes. But oh, look at that, that's not too bad at all. I'm happy with that. That's a good landing. And that's the S92. Shark DCS KA50 helicopter add-on module, and see how it flies. So let's get into the cockpit and see what it looks like. So this is the cockpit of the KA50. Looking through the dials, you can see the attention to detail that we've got in this cockpit. Buttons are switchable, as you can see when I move my mouse over it turns green, and that means you can move the dial or click on a switch. Everything detailed finely, and if you go on to the outside view, you can see from the outside that this detail is also present on the outside of the helicopter. And we can zoom in a little bit, you can see the detail on those panels, fuselage panels. Look at it, even the wear and tear is visible. Incredible, incredible. And this is obviously, this is a double rotor blades helicopter, so you've got a bit more stability when you're flying it. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to fly it, so let's take off. Let's take off and fly and see what it looks like. There we go. Takeoff's pretty easy compared to the Huey and compared to the MI-8 DCS modules, as it's got those double rotor blades counteracting each other, so that's a plus for beginners. And let's put the wheels in and see what it looks like. Look at that, look at that detail. Wheels going in. Look how they actually fold into the fuselage, unbelievable. And here we go. So the attention to detail from DCS is second to none really when it comes to military helicopters, and you won't be disappointed. This is probably the easier model to fly, not necessarily easiest to land. They're all difficult to land, but this is got more stability. You don't have to fight the joystick so as much as you do with the Huey and with the MI-8, and it's a lot less temperamental, I would say, than either of those helicopters, but that's probably due to the design of the helicopter itself. I'm using a CH fighter stick, and it's running very, very smoothly, responsive, and the frame rate is, look, as you can see in the top corner, we're reaching 76 frames, 79 even frames per second, even with the cockpit. So that's not a bad thing at all. And if you wonder what the system I'm running is an i7, and it has got a GTX 980 in SLI configuration, so that does help. And it doesn't always help in like FSX and Xplane, because of course they use a CPU and they don't use SLI, but in DCS world it does. And now we're down to a steady 60 frames a second. Let's switch the outside views again. Look at that. And another thing about DCS, in the DCS series, you've got the replay mode, which I find really useful, especially when making videos like this. So you can view the flight at any point then after you land in, and see what you've done wrong, where you're going wrong, etc. So that's something I like about DCS world. I know that Xplane's also got a good replay facility. FSX not so good. It has a replay facility, but it's a little bit buggy, and it hasn't got all the bells and whistles as DCS and Xplane have. So get back to the outside view. Let's get our wheels out. The wheels are out. Let's see if we can land it somewhere near the buildings. Go for a nice soft landing by the terminal buildings. Reduce the speed. Try and get a nice landing, soft as well. It's got wheels, so it helps when you land in, because the wheels obviously take, you can land it a bit like an aircraft as well as a helicopter. So let's line it up so we can land by those buildings over there. Slow it down a bit. And there we go. And we're going for landing. Brilliant. Not the best landing, but not bad at all. So let's put the collective down. Let's have a look at that replay. See how it panned out. So you've got to watch track. Very impressed with the flight physics. Very impressed with the stability of it, and of course graphically it looks amazing. So we're going to have a look now at the flight from the replay mode. Let's have a quick look at the takeoff. So we'll move in, see what it looks like. Obviously it's a lot easier to look at this now from the outside when you're not flying it. So we'll flyby view. What other views have we got here? That's the tail view. Let's see what other views we've got in here. Okay. So as you can see, we have a quick tour of the helicopter while we're waiting for the replay to get us to the takeoff scene. So on the top of the helicopter as well, look at that. And here we go, taking off. Oh, it was a good takeoff actually, must admit. And we'll have a look at the landing. And a view of the landing in replay mode. Let's see how well I landed it, or how badly. And it's coming in now for a wheel landing. See, this is the thing, it's the helicopter, they drift a lot, especially when you're trying to land it, something drifts to the left or right, and it's the counteracting that, which is difficult, and making sure all the other controls are balanced, like the cyclic and the collective. So we're coming in to land here, let's see what it looks like. Not bad. Not the best landing, but not bad. So that's the KA-50. That's the DCS Black Shark KA-50.